Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to your readings for the full moon in Capricorn, 24th of July. Obviously, these readings are meant to cover the 2 weeks, the 4 weeks, or the 6 and a bit months, or just under 6 months, isn't it? From the full moon in Capricorn back to the new moon in Capricorn, which will be sometime around Christmas. I should have looked that date up before I started. So, as ever, it's a general reading. General reading rules apply. Do not give away your power to a tarot reader. In these readings, there's 2 rows of cards. The top row represents the archons trying to suppress you, and the bottom row represents the gods themselves trying to lift you up, reconnect you with the divine. By their very nature, they are dramatic. So take it all with a pinch of salt and just bear in mind that I can't necessarily be reading for everybody. So there is a timestamp in the description below because I'm going to discuss the full moon itself first. But I've put the timestamp there, so if you want to not ignore my waffle, you can jump ahead to the reading. I won't be offended much. But I would say watch your sun, your moon, and your rising. Now, I'd say the moon because that would normally deal with the emotional stuff, but it's a full moon. It's a lunar reading. Go and look at your moon. Especially with this one, because there's a little something I want to bring up about not just the full moon, but what happens the day before, the day as I am filming this now. Now, as ever, there is a link down there in the description for the Facebook group for this Facebook page for this channel. Basically, it's got an inbox. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that's one of the best ways to do it. There's a link tree down there that will take you to all of my different social media, but Facebook's the best way. I am trying to grow the channel, so any subscriptions or pressing of like buttons would be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you haven't caught it, I will be, or well, by the time this goes live, I will have already done a show with astrologer David Fisher, where we're discussing the ins and outs of the full moon in terms of Hellenistic astrology. I've got some other things that I wanted to point out. Now, I am really, really excited about this full moon. I'm sure there was something else housekeeping I had to say. Nah, it'll come to me. Oh yeah, you can ask a question before you're reading if you want. I don't think it's the sort of reading where you're necessarily going to get an answer, not like my monthlies or some of my other readings. It's just a general look at the forces that are around for you to take advantage of or dodge, whichever way you want to look at it. Right. So this is the first full moon after the eclipse seasons. Now, if I bring my notes up so I can remember what I'm talking about, this is the degree here is ruled by, I always struggle with these, Yael, who is all about letting go and mental force. But the degree angels, which I've not mentioned on these videos before, the degree angels also control a 5-degree arc each. So this 5-degree arc is ruled by Mabahia, who is about putting thought into action, who is about intellectual lucidity. And Yael is about, as I said, letting go, mental force. That puts a lot more context into this full moon, whereas we have been working so very hard to plan and to decide and to find ways to move forward. We've discussed this on the astrology shows with David. We've discussed this in the readings. That's setting your plans up, getting all your ducks in a row, all of that preparation work. Now it's time to do it. When you know there is that thing that you want to let go of, now is the time to let go of it. I know you'd normally say that new moons are good for letting go and full moons are about completion. And that's what I'm talking about, the completion of the letting go process that we have already started into motion. Now, as well as the 5-degree arc, The decans themselves are ruled by the goetic spirits, the known as the 72 demons that Solomon summoned. Although I would question whether the term demon for them is actually fair. I think it's a bit harsh, but it's what they've been known as for at least 500 years, if not more. So by day, this is ruled by the goetic spirit Berith. So, quoting from Michael Ford, in an initiatory context, Berith may be a tool in the understanding of self, including the alchemical process of turning of gold, i.e., coming into being more, strengthening your form, the fiery essence of self. Berith is proves to be a powerful goetic servitor that you can summon to guard while going through some introspective rites. Now, we've been going through these introspective processes for, well, quite some time, let's be honest. And so again, it's rubber stamping that idea of, you knew you needed to let go of this thing, time to let go, time to put your plans into action, time to be you to the best of your ability. Now, by night, it is ruled by Flauros, or as I would know him, Horus. Now, he's one of the traditional 9 demonic divinities in traditional demonolatry, and he's described as typifying the perfect balance of physical, mental, and spiritual consciousness. So there's that, again, that coming into yourself and finding the whole, being true to yourself aspect, the whole this is who I know I am, and that bit there, I don't need it anymore, it's not me anymore, let's go, because I'm going along on this new path. Now, I am excited about this full moon also because of something that happened the day before. The day before, there was a near perfect 4 points of a pentagram in the sky. So let me just bring that up for you to see. Hopefully you'll be able to see the aspect lines, because they're quite faint. Solar Fire does them in a colour I find it really hard to see. But you notice the moon, Jupiter, Uranus, and Venus, which is a beautiful selection of planets. You've got the love and value of Venus, you've got the making things bigger of Jupiter, you have that emotional, in this term, it's what do I feel strongly about, and how can I make those things that I feel are beautiful in my life bigger? How can I make those things that I value in my life bigger? And then there's Uranus, which Uranus always causes upset, but on this particular point, I think if the unexpected occurs, it could only be bringing good news. Now, by the time we come to the full moon itself, you notice that near pentagram is split up into 2 sets of 3 3-pointed pentagrams. However, the Solar Fire doesn't do aspects, or at least I can't make it do aspects, to Black Moon Lilith. So we have Mars, Moon, and Black Moon Lilith taking action to heal hurt feelings, is how I'm reading that, and how I would want to read that. Bear in mind that Mars at the moment is being ruled by the goetic spirit Beleth, who is there's a certain sense of Beleth plays with time. There's a certain sense of immediacy here, but it's almost like you can take this energy and pocket it for a short while. And then the final three-pointed pentagram is again Venus, Uranus, Jupiter. So something unexpected about that which you value and can be made bigger, which I think is still beautiful, but especially coming off of that pentagram the day before. Now, I'm also very excited about this because the final point of that pentagram would be pretty much 4, 5, 6 degrees Libra. Guess whose moon is at 6 degrees Libra? So I am looking to take full advantage of such a beautiful astrological combination. Now let's just have a look before I go into the cards, because I got told off on comments about a long introduction to another reading that I did. So I don't want to waffle for too long, but the symbols of 3 degrees Capricorn and this full moon are also very interesting. I remember what really grabbed my attention is the Kosminski degree symbol, which is of Persephone rising gracefully from beneath to the upper world. The sun is shining and the surrounding country is rich in fields of corn, fruit, birds, flowers, whilst butterflies are sporting round her head. Now, I suppose according to the legend, that would not be directly true because spring doesn't start until Persephone comes up and Ceres or Demeter goes, you're back, and starts letting things happen. But it is still a beautiful image. So this is said to denote one of great power of endurance who forces himself, ill or well, to brush away obstacles in the way of his desires. What was I saying about letting things go? There is here a combination of mental, moral, and physical force, bringing us back to the idea of that rulership of Aries. A trinity which carries the native through danger and conditions most adverse. At birth, the soul is rising from the shadows, and as life advances, the temples of enchanting lights are reached, and constancy begets deathlessness. It is a symbol of perseverance. So if you haven't started your 2021 plans, your post 2020, post eclipse, post great conjunction plans, get moving. Now is the start. So let's have a look at the Sapharial degree symbol, which is of a Vestal lamp burning brightly, an indication of an elevated and superior mind given to the study of things that are essentially spiritual. There's that other part of Aries dominion here. There are aspiration and intuition in a superior degree. That's not easy to say. And such a one will probably seek and find in the silence of his own chamber the key to many of the higher mysteries of life and thought. So again, it's that looking internally, expressing externally. As within, so without. This is, do not let this full moon energies go to waste. Now, the Chandra symbol, or the inside degree symbol, is more curious, but I really like it because you will hear all the New Agers, and I get very bored with the New Agers, and with the New Age, sorry. That's not the New Agers, the New Age, because it's, we're living in such a special time. We are always living in such a special time. If you are living, it is a special time. Certainly for you and to a point globally, but we cannot deny there's big global things going on. So we have all been training for this moment. So Capricorn 4, the 4th degree of Capricorn, i.e. 3 degrees Capricorn, the Chandra symbol is footprints in the snow. And it's talking about how you were following your own footsteps. In the last previous lifetime, you set into motion a very full karmic momentum, which only got to midstream. This time, you first recapitulate the previous patterns and then set out where they lead. All of it, every step feels fated, inevitable. It is an uncannily strong inward impression. Yet, in order to permit the soul of this lifetime some measure of autonomy and freedom, this knowledge is held in the superconscious mind, and you can then cast about as though nothing had happened before, if you want, except that the inward instincts direct you in a predetermined course. And the lessons and the scenes are so very familiar. So blah, 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 when the individual karma is this strong. But we know this. I mean, let's be honest. If you're watching one of my readings and watching tarot readings on YouTube and all the other stuff, we know that we have practiced for this. And even if you accept like Dolores Cannon's 3 Waves of Volunteers, we have been practicing for this. And the now this is the Omega symbol, I think. As a cliff erodes, a temple is in danger of collapsing. Now, okay, there's a tower imagery, tower card imagery there, but there's also what it also talks about that Saturn-Uranus square we've got going on. The description to this says it needs change. And when they do, structures that may have depended on a long time, that may have been depended on for a long time, need to change as well to meet these new needs. That's it, needs change. Right, that makes sense. This is what this degree is aware of. It taps into the undercurrents of feeling and can see how those things are eroding the landscape of human thought. At its best, it's capable of suggesting means of change that take into the account the long range and which are practical. And again, we have practiced for this. Can you tell I'm really excited about this? I never thought I'd be excited about a Capricorn thing, but when you look, everything that Capricorn threw at us last year, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions, the building up to the great conjunction with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, various other things, eclipses last year and all that. This is beautiful. This is Pluto, who's there in Capricorn, going, okay, here is the end of it. Now, bear in mind, this full moon is a long, long away from Pluto. Pluto's at 26 degrees. The full moon's at 3 degrees. So it's co-present by sign. But Pluto's allowed everything to come full circle. And it's almost like he stepped to one side and said, there you go. I've done my work now. You crack on with starting the new things. And I will just check your work as you go past. But everything will be fine. Don't worry. You crack on with it. And so that's what I want to say with this full moon. Whatever it is, you crack on with it. There's all this creative energy around with Venus quintile Uranus, Venus quintile Jupiter. There's all this healing energy around with the quintiles between the moon, Mars and Lilith. There's that, especially if you've got early degrees of Libra planets, there's that energy from the pentagram the day before. This cannot be a bad thing if you take advantage of it, but you take advantage of it with self-knowledge. You take advantage of it after having really dug down on the inside and saying, is this what I want? Is this a bit of me I still want to be? What do I need to let go of? And let's already make sure that this full moon is the final letting go of those things. They will come back again. Of course they will. They will come back again for you to be able to walk straight past them and say, no, I've let go, I don't care. Because that's how it works. You know, they so when all these things that you've let go of pop their head up again in like 1, 2, 3 months, years time, it is there to say, huh, have you let go? Really? And if you use this full moon energy right, the answer is a resounding yes. Yes, I have. Now, this is before I've done the show with David, so that's how I'm reading the full moon, purely on the basis of the angels and the demons that are involved here, and some of the aspects, but minor aspects. We'll see what David makes of it. In the meantime, I'll bring your cards up in a second. If you want a personal reading, don't forget that Facebook link. Please feel free to share the video because it helps, and press the like button because it helps YouTube notice I exist, which I'm not sure it has yet, really. In the meantime, yeah, let me bring up the cards. Right, Aries, as I said in the intro, here's the masks the archons are wearing, and here are the gods that are lifting you up. And when I said in that intro about be yourself to the best of your ability, oh my word, are these cards saying exactly that? Everything on the top row you can consider to be a trap of some form or another. We have Odin with guidance, Atlas with responsibility, Hathor with contentment, Dionysus with merrymaking, and Pele with transformation. Whereas the gods who are supporting you here, Nuada with perfection, Pan with nature, Sekhmet with reduction, the Marai with the future, and Erishkigal here with coercion, but I'm not going to interpret it in terms of coercion because that's not what I'm more like that whole journey into the underworld business that Erishkigal experienced. Yeah, she went into the underworld and took over, didn't she? Or is that Inanna? I'd have to look that one up. So, what I'm seeing is basically, it's almost like you have a plan. You have a perfect idea in your mind and you know exactly where you're going and what you need to do and how you're going to start it. And it's in your nature to go like this. I mean, of course, it is your Aries, you're a cardinal sign. But it's something more fundamental of, oh, look, Aries is starting another thing that they don't finish. It is that sense of, I really want to do this, and it's important not just to me to do this, but it's important to being me to do this. And it is actually choosing an important path for your future. And yeah, you may have to, convince a few people that what you're doing is okay, but there is some force around you, because bear in mind the archontic forces, just like the planets, just like the spirits, just like the angels, can manifest through people just as much as events or anything else. There's someone around you trying to remind you of your responsibilities. Why are you doing this thing? Really, are you sure about this? Maybe you should just aim a little lower and just be happy with what you have. There's chances for lots of fun, but I'm seeing you there going, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. And the gods here are certainly supporting that. But with Sekhmet and reduction, yeah, you will be ferocious in heading towards this. But keep it simple. That's, I think, what Sekhmet here with reduction is saying. Keep it simple. Don't let anything go too complicated. But at the very same time, don't be distracted by the summer weather or winter if you're in the summer hemisphere. Now, Pele here is almost, she doesn't normally look like this to me, but in the top row, she looks scary and intimidating to me. It's almost as if somebody is saying, oh my God, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to go ahead with this? Do you realize how much it will change everything? To which I feel your answer is, yes, that's the point. And precisely that is the point, right? So this moon, this lunation, I am using the Santa Muerte Tarot. So let's see what we've got. Oh, yeah, this person who's, oh, hello, two cards. This person who's giving you that guidance to say, oh, slow down. Do you realize how much this will change everything? They are, they're certainly giving you the hassle, aren't they? Stress and anxiety, Nine of Swords here. Well, is that the nine or is it? I suppose that would be the six. I read it as a 9 to start off with, so I want to keep that, but I want to bring that whole 6 in. Right, so they're wanting to control the process to avoid this transformation, and you're there going, hang on a minute, no, if we're going to transform the way that I want me to transform, and that I want my life to transform. Thank you very much. It's not going to be steered by anybody else's agenda, to which you get the response, but aren't you happy this way? And I think the long and the short of it is no, you're not, because it's too much stress, is that the distractions are annoying. The distractions are in the way. They are there's only there's only so many times a week you can go down to the pub with your mates. There's only so many times a week you can do whatever you do for leisure and not think, hang on a minute, am I not getting something done here? Because someone is saying, value how happy you are now, and yeah, that there's some contentment and happiness there now, but it's just some of those responsibilities that are weighing down on you need to change, and you're well aware of this. So you need to transform and go for this perfect ideal, which involves, and I'm not saying that you're shedding responsibilities, I'm saying that you're changing them. If there is something that you're responsible for and you're not very good at it and you don't enjoy it, whereas you can see that there's something you can be responsible for that not only are you good at it but you enjoy doing it, then there's a change to be made. Get someone else to be responsible for the first thing and you do what you do well. Because I do feel that there is an option here to really change your own future, and there will be conflict because of this. There will be opposition because of this. But if you weather that storm, you're going to be fine. The Empress here. But I think you're finding that your nature yourself is changing. That's why this merrymaking business is just like, oh God, again, do we really have to? Yeah, so it's sunny. We can sit out at some point, whenever. It's sunny for a while. As you can tell, it's sunny here. You can probably see it on this side of my face. But there's quite a change of dreams, and you want to take a chance on something that you see as perfect. Now, you're motivated with this. We have Cialia here, and we have Melahel with healing capacity. This is really important. It's almost, I feel that whatever this source of this guidance is, it's like you're unpicking fishing hooks out of you where they've been pulling you along like puppet strings. It's like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. End of story, this is what I'm doing. Like it or lump it. So be wary of not rocking the boat. In fact, that's what I might call this reading. Be wary of not rocking the boat. Rock it to your heart's content. Yeah, that's everything. That's everything that I see there, Aries. So go and watch your rising, go and watch your moon, and yeah, and watch the show with me and David, so we can learn about the astrology of the moon. All right, cheers.